Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Review. Today I have one of my favorite craft beers, one of the first craft beers I ever had, actually. I've talked about this a little bit in other videos. In my area, there were no super local breweries. I think the first one started 5 years ago locally, 4 or 5. So like Ithaca Brewing was one of my local ones. That's about an hour away. Ommegang was like the other one, and that one is maybe not quite an hour and a half away from where I live. So, but you could get it to, some of the grocery stores and stuff. So, Ommegang beers was something I could get. So, Three Philosophers is a beer I like a lot. This is actually an aged one. It's a little over 3 years old. It's 2014. The oldest one I have is 2011. I'm like 99.9% positive that's the oldest one I have. I don't think I have anything older, but I know for a fact I have a 2011. Anyway, I'm sure I'll review that sometime. I'm reviewing this beer for two reasons. Well, besides the fact that I like it a lot. One, it is a Game of Thrones night, and since they make the official Game of Thrones beer, I thought for week 2 I will drink another Ommegang beer. I have a mead, I have a braggot, I'll get to stuff like that. It seems to fit the vibe of Game of Thrones. Number 2, good friend of mine the other day had an aged St. Bernardus, and I was like, man, that's got me wanting a quad with some age on it. So I have some of the big bottles, like the 2011, for example, is big. I like the price point to how much I have to drink at a time, 4-pack option. So I have a decent number of these from different years. So again, I had, I think, maybe 3 from 2014, at least 3. So I figured, oh, that's a safe one. If I like it, maybe I'll have another one soon or whatever, or just keep aging them. I cut the wax a little bit. I wax sealed these. Oh, the wax just came off the cap. I know it mostly just looks cool. I don't know, how much does it actually do or not do. All the wax, loose wax off. I like the process of waxing these beers, so I do it. A little off screen for you. All right, so like I said, 2014, Three Philosophers, a beer I like a lot. One of the first craft beers I ever got into. Probably the first quad I ever had. I think it was the second brewery tour I ever did. Ithaca was the first, back when they were in just like this tiny, tiny building. Anyway, this has, it's 98% quad, 2% creek, a cherry beer. I'm always surprised how much cherry comes through, being only 2%. You get a lot of the sugary caramel notes, dried fruit notes. You get that stuff fresh. I love this beer fresh. When I don't know how many times I've been to Ommegang, and I haven't done a tour lately because I've done it so many times, but I will still do tastings, and it's always a highlight for me when we're doing the tastings. This Hennepin, I'm reminded how much I like Rare Boss. My wife and me too, but my wife really loves the Wit or Vit. Anyway, let's get into the glass. Oh, proper glassware. Let me pour it. That'll be a little easier to tell. Let you know how much I like the beer. I have the proper glassware for Three Philosophers. Good carbonation. Love that. So you got the Three Philosophers, quite literally on it. Got the Three Philosophers quite literally on it. Close enough. Yeah, you can tell. It's like that burgundy kind of color. It looks like a quad, maybe a hair lighter. Just a beautiful reddish hue, brown. The bubbles, oh my god, I smell it already. It smells awesome. Nice lacing a little bit. I don't know if you can tell or not. Yeah, it's not quite picking up some of that lacing. The head is dissipating relatively quick, probably about 2 fingers when I poured it. But that color, it's just beautiful. But anyway, it's relatively dark in the center, but you see that beautiful red edges. It's just such a beautiful beer. They use the word beautiful enough? Yeah? Alright, let's get to the aroma. You get the dried fruits in there. You get a nice amount of apple, that cherry. So it has some of like that, who's that comedian does a joke, like who's the cranberry guy? Like, seems like cranberries are getting in all the juices. This is like a cherry apple kind of a vibe. But then you also get all the dried fruit, raisins, plums, things like that are dried. Little bit of dried banana, very faint. That cherry is still real nice in the aroma. A little bit of chocolate too, which is nice. Some honey notes, definitely the caramel notes. So you know it's going to be malty. It's just a little bit of burnt sugar. How crazy is that? Like I took it away and I could still smell it enough to like describe. Like that's how aromatic this beer is. It smells awesome. ABV is 9.7, so just under 10%. Let's get into the taste. Cheers. So good. I'm wiping my head because it's hot, not that I'm like brought to tears. The age, you get no alcohol taste. You do get that nice tartness kick with the cherries in there. You almost get, I know I just said like you don't really taste the alcohol, but you almost get like rum soaked fruits, again the dried fruits. A little bit of that apple comes through, which is just lovely. So what's unique about this is that cherry component. It's super smooth also, like with all the complexity of the flavors. It's interesting how smooth this beer just goes down too. And because you don't get any alcohol burn, I could drink this pretty fast, but it tastes so good you want to sip on it. It's not like forcing you to sip on it, but it's like, hey, you know, appreciate me. Sounds like my wife. Man, this is good. Get this beer. Anyway, yeah. So what separates this from other quads is that little bit of cherry juice, but even at 2% of the beer, it just adds a nice extra layer that really complements the already existing flavors. Um, Quads are a favorite style of mine, and stuff. So I'll get to some of that stuff, other Trappists. But in terms of an American-produced quad, it's the best. It is. Excuse me. It's in my opinion, it's hands down the best. The availability is amazing. It ages so well. It drinks fresh so well. I just love this. This whole review has basically just been a love letter to Three Philosophers. Thank you for watching. I always appreciate it. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, age fine beer and enjoy it. Cheers.